and you watch it all be snatched from him in such a way that would send him to prison like for a number of years, to where he probably couldn't, come back and salvage his career. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you sit there and watch that? But apparently the young lady that caused the accident did just that. This is Tyler Werner. Tyler Werner works for the Louisiana State Patrol. Tyler Werner was the responding officer to this accident right here.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
In that accident, you saw approximately 4 cars. You saw the 2 cars involved in the accident. You saw a white, smaller car pull up and stop. And then you saw a green Charger pull up, stop, and then swerve around the accident and continue on. The driver of that green Charger was this young man.
Last year, I swear to God, I was passing by on the bridge, and I looked at the stadium, and I'm like, man, I know I could play there. Yeah. So I started crying.
Come on.
As I'm on the bridge, and I'm like, I could play that. I know I could play that. So the next thing you know, I got the LSU offer, and it's crazy because the greats before, like Jamar, Justin Jefferson, Odell, Jarvis, like I could be the next one, Keyshawn. Like I could be the next one. So that's my approach. Like it still feels crazy because I walk in there and I just see LSU everywhere. Like that is amazing. Like to see that every day. Like it really hit me like last week that I really go to LSU.
Now I will ask you, did you observe any traffic infraction being committed by the driver of that green Charger? And straight like that, we back, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody out there doing well, doing swell. You dig what I'm saying? Before I get into all the rigmarole, man, we pretty much gonna jump straight into this thing. So I asked you a question there in the intro, and I asked if you observed any traffic infraction, any type of violation being committed by that green Charger, the person driving that green Charger, anything that green Charger did that was wrong. I didn't either, but let's take another look at it, and maybe we missed something.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
Now, in that accident again, you saw 4 cars being involved. You saw the accident. You saw the white car. You saw the green Charger pull around. Now, if you look very closely, right here, accident, and then you see this vehicle peel into, looks like it turns into a parking lot. Well, that was a gold truck. This is Mr. Gold Truck.
So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, me and my wife gonna fill that right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that Charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that Charger. That's.
Now, despite this being known at the time, Tyler Werner, the responding officer, one employee of the Louisiana State Patrol, investigated this accident, and the findings that he came away with prompted him to take those charges to the district attorney, this young lady, and and through whatever process that they employ down there in Louisiana, which I figure is a strictly draconian process, if you know anything about Louisiana and just down here in the Commonwealth states in the South, period. You dig what I'm saying? They put together whatever tactics that they saw fit and charges that they saw fit and brought charges against Kyren Lacy, the guy driving the green Charger, for causing this accident. You heard me correctly. They filed charges against this guy, Mr. Kyren Lacy, for causing that accident.
Last year, I swear to God, I was passing by on the bridge, and I looked at the stadium, and I'm like, man, I know I could play that. Yeah. So I started crying.
Come on.
As I'm on the bridge, and I'm like, I could play that. I know I could play that. So the next thing you know, got the LSU offer. And it's crazy because the grades before, like Jamar, Justin Jefferson, Odell, Jarvis, like I could be the next one. Kinshawn, yeah. Like I could be the next one. So that's my approach. Like it still feels crazy because I walk in there and I just see LSU everywhere. Like that is amazing. Like to see that every day. Like it really hit me like last week that I really go to LSU.
Wow, two, you gotta hit that, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm proud of y'all boys, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Love you, brother. No, we talked about this.
Shit, dream, brother. You next, though. Keep thinking.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Love you too, brother. Lay out, bro.
Love you,
bro.
My brother, Kyren Lacy, he's been there with us. It was a big four for sure. You know, I'm excited for him. I know he's happy for us.
I was hoping to watch a video probably of the year that me and him created together. So seeing him right there, you know,
that was a great surprise.
You know, we might be on the same video, giving him the same speech next year.
Go out there and have fun. You know, keep your foot on their neck, man. And next year, I expect you to be here.
Now, in that video, you saw clips of a guy that was amazing on the football field. You dig what I'm saying? Although that man went to LSU, which is a school that, you know, I call myself not liking when it comes to football. You dig what I'm saying? That was the place that Nick Saban left. He went to the Dolphins, left the Dolphins, went to Alabama. So he kind of became a built-in rival. But when it comes to the University of Alabama, pretty much everybody is a rival. You dig what I'm saying? So LSU was always kind of, and they were always good. So we'd always meet them in the big games. It was a big game when we go down there or what have you. You dig? So despite that, you know, you have to give respect where respect is due. And Kyren Lacy was an amazing receiver. You know what I mean? Kyren Lacy was set to be a first round pick for sure. I would imagine, I don't know if you call it the lottery in the NFL, but like a top 10, you know, top 15 guy, top half of the draft in the first round guy. Amazing receiver is going to go to somebody's team and make an impact. I do believe that. As you heard, charges were filed against Mr. Lacy in regards to this accident. And we're looking at that footage that we see now, and we're saying I'm not understanding what's going on. We understand what's going on as we delve deep into this thing, but I don't understand what's going on. We don't understand what's going on. What's really good right here? You dig what I'm saying? And so the charges were filed, at least informally. Prior to, if I'm not mistaken, a couple days prior to the draft, although if I understand correctly, he was disinvited from the draft, or maybe the draft combine. But a day before he was set to be formally arraigned in court on these charges, this happened.
Why Kyren Lacy took his life. And I'm going to go out on a limb because I figure you probably know the truth on this matter. Is there anything that you would like to set straight about the Houston part of this story?
I don't know that the Houston part of this story didn't upset me more than the front end. Let me just say this. Kyren Lacy went to Houston that Friday with his mind made. He was suffering. There was a point in time that night at his apartment, the apartment that he, his little brother, and his cousin were in. His mind was made. He wanted the keys to that vehicle to, I don't know how to say this, to
take his life.
Yeah. So, it's either you give me my keys and I do this on my own accord, or this is going to go down right here, right now. Obviously, the keys were given. A welfare call was made. Keyword, welfare. Welfare check. Right? There was no crime. There's none of that, man. Mm-hmm. No drugs, none of that BS. Kid's mind was made. You know the rest of the story.
So he told whomever he was with that that was the place and time. Wasn't there a shot fired or something?
That's how he got his keys. I think that's how you're showing him. And by the way, the shot was fired in the ground on purpose to let them know the seriousness of what was going on in his head.
So he wanted their attention.
He wanted his keys.
Yeah.
And they knew not to give him his keys. They knew what was going to happen. But what are you going to do? You going to watch it go down, or are you going to give him his keys?
Right.
His mind was made. Social media killed him. Killed him. Mm-hmm. All those tough guys behind the computer,
yep.
Same ones that are come after me when I do this interview,
mm-hmm.
Those guys.
A young man could not get used to it.
They're kids, man.
And so there you see his attorney, Matt Ory, giving an account of what transpired in Houston the day before they were set to be arraigned in court formally for these charges. The story goes that Kyren Lacy goes to an apartment looking to attain the keys to his vehicle. And it said that he had already implied that he was going to get in his vehicle. He was going to drive to some disclosed or undisclosed location, and he was going to remove himself from the Earth's population. You dig what I'm saying? The people there at the apartment, in an effort to keep that from happening, continued to withhold the keys. At which point, Mr. Lacy fired a shot into the ground to let him know that it's serious, and implied, I don't know if the lawyer is saying that Kyren implied that if they didn't hand the keys over, then he would use his weapon against them. And just do everybody around, including himself, and get the keys, or, do them, get the keys, do them, do itself, or just do himself right there in front of everybody, dolo willy-nilly, you dig? At any rate, they came up off the keys, he get the keys, jump in the car. As he's in the car riding off, which was this was a kind of bad move, because I feel like he may have had a chance to think twice. But you hear the lawyer said that he was in a bad state, man. And as you examine all these things, you could not fault the young man. But someone in the house called for a welfare check. Police, in pursuit of the welfare check, located the vehicle, got him behind him. A chase ensued. Apparently he spun out somewhere, and by the time police arrived to the vehicle, they saw Mr. Lacy with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, thus removing himself from Earth's population. And when I first heard about that, I remember when it went down, man, it was an ill thing to hear about. You dig? And up until this point, we pretty much had, just the information that was at hand. But things have taken a significant turn.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Sarah Gray Barr. First tonight, the Louisiana Democratic Party responding to allegations against state police in the case of the late LSU football player Kyren Lacy. The party calling for accountability from law enforcement. Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory, sat down with HTV10 in Houma and revealed conflicting records and video evidence suggesting Lacy was wrongfully accused of causing the crash that killed 78-year-old Herman Hall in 2024. Police charged Lacy with negligent homicide following the accident.
You heard that correctly. Evidence has now surfaced that one Kyren Lacy, along with the clips that I showed you, you dig what I'm saying, shows that, in fact, Mr. Lacy had nothing to do with the accident whatsoever, but we have his lawyer. I've got a couple of clips from his lawyer that can better explain this whole crazy messed up story. This is nasty work right here, man.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter, their investigations. And in that investigation, actually says in his statement that the Charger passed through the vehicle of Mr. Hall and the gold truck and vehicle 2, and then they collided. I can't make this up. This is what people just don't get to see. And again, I'm not saying this intentional. I'm saying people commit to a story and they don't back down. One of the 4 individuals here, they say that they were going 30 to 35 miles an hour when Kyren passed him. He did. There's no disputing that. No one ever did, but he was back in his lane of travel. 92.3 yards back in. 72.6 at the time of impact. When they collide, he is 72.6. Before they collide, he is almost a football field away back in his lane. That's not disputed. What you can see is another car come to a stop, and then Kyren Lacy come to a stop. This is just amazing now, what I know, and there's so much more. We've spent hours and hours and hours scouring. But I don't know how else to tell anybody else that this is not mine. I didn't generate this. I didn't manipulate this. I didn't alter it. I didn't manufacture it. I received it from the district attorney's office. I then did my job, and I compare it to the report and the investigation of state police, and it is drastic. It's drastic. The very last line of the report from the district attorney's office says, the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kyren Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him. And what we know is we never disputed ever that he passed those vehicles. They were in a row, 4 vehicles in a row. We know they were going 30 to 35 miles an hour. He passed them. It was a no passing zone, but he got back in 92.3 yards. He was back in his lane of travel. He was 72 yards behind at the time of impact. We know that now.
So yeah, man, Matt Ory breaks it down. Almost the football field away when he finished passing 4 cars. That is not disputed. He got back, corrected back into his lane. He was at least, 72 yards or so away from the accident when it occurred. He was not the cause of that accident. You have a statement and saying what the evidence submitted shows that he was not the cause of this accident. So you say, what could have transpired from the time that accident happened up until now, or you can stop at the time when Mr. Lacy did what he did to himself. You say what transpired between the time of that accident that could have gotten him and all of this legal mumbo jumbo.
So look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, maybe my wife gonna fill out right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? Right. And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side. But there's a bigger problem. I then obtained the actual written statement.
And this is from the Gold Truck.
This is the Gold Truck. Now, after the statement we just went through, notice I've obviously redacted names, addresses, and the cell phone number in fairness to the individual who is Gold Truck number 1 in oncoming traffic. See, the problem with that statement is it is in direct contravention to what was said minutes earlier. It's not written by him, and where it says signed, it's not signed, it's refused. But you see, when I have a witness who is the most critical, and he's telling you, I wasn't traveling fast. We know now that he wasn't. The data shows 2.99 seconds before that he was traveling 28 miles an hour. The data shows that. Now he corroborates that. And he goes on to say, I didn't even make a skid mark. That woman behind me, she caused that accident. And you give me this statement that is refused? I got a problem. I got a problem with that, a big one. What he's saying is she had to avoid hitting him. Mm-hmm. He specifically stated she caused that accident, but I've got an affidavit for arrest warrant right here. Nowhere in here does it say anything that you guys just saw on body cam. To the contrary, about that vehicle, it says the Gold Truck took evasive action by emergency braking and driving off the roadway to avoid a head-on crash. But you just heard he said, I wasn't even going fast. I didn't even skid mark. So what emergency braking are we referring to here? And what the hell was the point of this report? It is complete opposite. I would expect that you'll show this to where they can read what was said versus what was written just minutes earlier.
Just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, like, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't scared my car, nothing. I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here. Okay.
By the way, the body cam wasn't on for this statement. It was turned off before obtaining this statement. And this is what we get back in a file.
That's the way. Tyler Werner of the Louisiana State Patrol, through what could only be viewed as some biases and bigoted opinions of certain individuals, took it upon himself to create a narrative of what happened during that accident. Now, with him not being on the scene, I wonder where would that all came from. Now, apparently, there's a young lady, and we got a video at the end, that apparently had got some tickets from being the one that caused the accident. So I wonder, did she look up and see the charger go around and think of something to blame it on? Did one of the onlookers get mad because this charger just went on around and kept going and with no regard for what may have been on? But it was not his responsibility. It was another car in front of him. I don't know that there's a rule out here, or a driving rule, where if you see an accident, you have to stop and see what's going on. You dig what I'm saying? They often call it rubbernecking when you out there. They say keep it moving, keep it pushing. If it's nothing to do with you, you're just clogging up the scene. So I just wonder, how did he even get involved, man? I guess that green Charger stood out amongst all those other vehicles in that little part of Louisiana, what have you. But it baffles me how he even got involved, unless again, this young lady that got in the accident in an effort to take the blame away from herself says, "Oh, it was this green Charger just darted out in traffic." You can clearly see in the video, you heard Gold Truck say, "Man, the lady behind me was not paying attention." In my mind, I imagine she's on TikTok watching, what do they call them? I almost call the eating videos. Let me stop laughing because it's not funny. I imagine she's watching something stupid on TikTok. And Gold Truck looks like he made a pretty abrupt turn. Now, maybe he didn't hit his brakes to make his turn until a little late, or just the way that you have to immediately stop and turn into that little particular parking lot may have surprised her. She's not paying attention, but I envision her looking in her phone, almost running to the back of him, but he's almost turned into there, and she's just going to kind of dart around and, just avoid him. And she smashes into Mr. Herman, I think that's his name, a 78-year-old prior Marine, and he dies. Police get on the scene, and in an effort to take a vehicular homicide off of herself, she blames it on this green Charger. And even after seeing the news reports of who was driving that green Charger, this is before he did what he did to himself. While seeing all of that, you don't speak up. You don't say, "Hey, nah, man, I can't. This guy's got these big time dreams on the line." You may say it's easier said than done. Somebody's just gonna come clean for a homicide. But what type of person lets someone else go to? I mean, come on, bro. Like, and I don't know if you discern in between individuals. If it was some homeless bum on the street they ran up and then arrested for it, I don't imagine you would look at him and say, "Well, his life ain't worth nothing, let him go." It just seems like as some type of human being, man, like I don't even know what label to put on it. It would seem to me that you would have to step up to the plate about that. But now you look at a young kid, 24 years old, out of Louisiana, obviously a place that don't many make it from, and has ascended to the top of his sport, the top of his profession, and on the cusp of making his childhood dreams come true. And you watch it all be snatched from him in such a way that would send him to prison like for a number of years, to where he probably couldn't, come back and salvage his career. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you sit there and watch that? But apparently the young lady that caused the accident did just that. And it's a wild deal out here, man. You look at a Tyler Warner, you look at this DA. I'm not sure about the ethnicity of the young woman that caused the accident, but in a place like Louisiana, man, you just look at it and it sort of comes together for you on why in such a place that they would just be chomping at the bit to readily convict a guy like Kyren Lacy. You dig what I'm saying? Young, black, rich, cocky. Yeah, they love him when he's running touchdowns. I said it all the time about the fan base that I share with individuals from Alabama. They love him when they out there on the field. But that same player, if he was not donned in Alabama gear, could ride through damn near any town in Alabama and be targeted, harassed, and mistreated just because of him being him. He put that Alabama gear on. That may make it better if he had his gear on. But I promise you, they would not revere that individual the same way that they do when they see him running up and down the field on Saturdays. This is a fact. And so, you just look at the whole conglomerate of players involved, man. And it's just nasty work, bro, especially when you see the direction that it took Mr. Lacy in trying to deal with his world, just doing a complete 180. And, and I guess in like a span of a week, you know what I'm saying? And, we got a couple more videos, man. His lawyer, before this information had come out, he had alluded to the fact that it would be coming out, and he tried to tell Kyren, just give me a minute, I got you, dog.
I needed Kyren to hold on for one day, one more day. But as you can see, God needed him sooner. But I can promise you this, as he always asks me, Mr. Matt, you got me, dog? Kyren, I promise you, I got you, dog.
This is undoubtedly the worst case I've ever come across in my legal career. Nothing has pissed me off more than this case from day one. Start by saying a man was tragically killed in an accident. Let's not twist this any more than it is. Mr. Herman was a good man. There is a proper platform for when those types of things happen. And in this case, it was not and is not criminal court. Let's be very clear on that right now. I will never, ever budge on that position. A grand jury was set today for the whole public to know not once, yet to this day, has anybody ever said anything otherwise than the district attorney's office in Lafourche Parish has yet to this day to accept formal charges. Let that sink in. Mm-hmm. We were set for grand jury today. I am privy to so much information that no one has. To get a report is a report. You know how many cases we get reports on that ultimately end up in acquittals? This one never even got past a grand jury yet, and they crucified this kid. Mm-hmm. And when I mean crucified in a manner I cannot describe, I had these talks with him where you're trying to calm it down, say, man, turn it off. Let me take the heat. I got thick skin. You got a problem with me on social media? Come at me. Who cares? They know nothing about this other than what was portrayed in an initial report that they're pieced together. They have no idea what I know now. They have no idea what was about to come out. And ultimately, I assure you, will still come out. This is just, I'm infuriated. And That takes nothing from the loss of Mr. Herman. Let's be very clear. A good man, a good family. I get it. There's a civil suit filed. That is the platform. Mr. Herman didn't ask for, you know what I mean? They had nothing to do to concoct this story. There's reasons all this happened. I know what they are. And it really has nothing to do with that side of things. No one's ever once disputed that. Kyren's grandfather is a veteran, right? I mean, the narrative spun here has just been fascinating. Quite frankly, whether you were Marine or not, everybody's life is important. I have the utmost respect for Marine. Kyren had the utmost respect for Marines. Mm-hmm. That's irrelevant in this case, but the media didn't see it that way. The media, the same media, you know how upset he was? Every mugshot that was placed on there, you couldn't give him the courtesy of the 5,000 other pictures he had. You put him in a jumpsuit as if he was a thug and if he was this awful kid. Kyren Lacy is going to change the way things are done. He's going to make people think twice about what they say before they say it. Not everybody, somebody. Mm-hmm. Maybe Kyren Lacy makes someone think twice before the next investigation to say, hold on, maybe we got to look at a few other things here. Right? Maybe let's not jump to conclusions. Thoroughly review. Just maybe somebody else is saved from the same exact thing. Maybe thousands.
And you heard him towards the end of that video. He echoed some sentiments that the internet did Mr. Lacy wrong in convicting him early. You know, people get convicted in the media immediately these days, or I guess exonerated, whichever way you want to look at it. But oftentimes it's pretty harsh when you hear someone immediately when you hear that they're accused of something. People just jump on the boat and immediately start to smash them and bash them down. And so, you know, those were some thoughts echoed by, you know, a coach and former teammates alike.
You know, I thought that this is a process that takes time. You know, I think I said back in, you know, when this occurred that let's wait until all the information comes out, because for us to make these, you know, universal statements early on, it doesn't serve anybody well. I don't have any facts here. I'm following it just like you guys are. Let's just be patient and make sure that all the information gets out. He's loved by us, was loved before, and is loved after. There's not really a need to talk to our team. They follow it. They love Kyren. He was a great teammate, and he's going to be missed.
It's pretty eye-opening. It's pretty eye-opening to see so many people have to eat their words after saying so much bad about him. I was really emotional when I saw that. For most of the family, and I mean, I can't say that I knew him well. I can't say that I ever spoke a word to him. But for those that did, people who truly cared, it is closure. It is closure.
And you know, in full candor, man, just jumping off of what Brian Kelly, the teammate guy, and again the lawyer Matt Ory put out on the plate. And they said that, you know, far too often the media, content creators, news sites, what have you, are quick to jump on the narrative, one that stimulates clicks, provides for clickbaity titles, algorithmy, trendy content. And, you know, along with people, you know, of course, I can't say that I went in this lane, but you've got people like, you know, a Jack Mack from Barstool Sports, you know, the home of tools. The last four letters in the main part of the name, Barstool Tool, it's a jar of tools there. So, you know, Dave Portnoy cohorts, you can't expect much more from him, but he was one of the rougher ones when it came to his portrayal of Kyren Lacy and what he was all about. You see Jack Mack here. Kyren Lacy is wanted on homicide charges. I tweet out a photo of Kyren Lacy pretending to shoot somebody, called racist. Jack Mack, he comes back saying he apologizes, saying he may not be a good guy, put too much in the police reports, you know. Jack Mack, maybe, just maybe, he's not a good guy. And, you know, plenty of people jumped into the ring and had something to say. I myself made a show about the Kyren Lacy incident. But I didn't go, just disparaging the man and calling him dumb and stupid, anything like that. I try to play things more down the middle, and maybe that's the reason I ain't just went crazy on the page with my numbers yet. I try to play it down the middle, man. Or I'm gonna offer my opinion if it's warranted, but on certain sensitive subjects, I try to just play it as presenting the facts. And at the time, those were the facts that we had about the case. You dig what I'm saying? But as you can see, it's come to be that these things did not occur. And so, a lot of people have been reacting to this thing, man. Everything from, speaking to the NFL, we've got no immunity here saying, how y'all doing? NFL Commission, NFL. Y'all are responsible for the outcome we get today. With no evidence, you refuse to invite Kyren Lacy to the NFL Combine, going along with the police and media's narrative that he was a murderer when he was innocent. Y'all are effing joke. Y'all are a effing joke. And all smoke given out right now is pretty valid, man. Man, they were so quick. We've got Lucas right here. Man, they were so quick to F his life up, pushing fake narratives because of his status and being a football player. Cop was telling people what to put in their witness statements, having warrants based off of false info. He offed himself because of something he didn't do. We got Swift, too swift. Kyren Lacy did not take his own life because of guilt, but rather the incessant bullying of millions of misinformed individuals and the justice system that failed him. He's supposed to be balling out right now. I agree. He should be balling out, man. You had the Black San Seiko. The police lied, the DA lied, the driver lied. Media called Lacy a criminal. Outlets like Barstool Sports demanded Kyren Lacy get murder charges. Bigots and, of course, the black guy did it trolls piled on. Everyone was wrong. Lacy is dead. Oops, my bad, huh? Nasty work, bro. Tyler Werner deserves jail time for his role in the death of Kyren Lacy. False accusations and illegal investigation tactics directly led to Kyren taking his own life. He shouldn't be able to be a cop anymore. Despicable. I have to let them all cook, man. We had a statement put out by the Louisiana State Patrol that employs the one Tyler Werner and works in cahoots with the one, what is their name? Christine Russell, the DA of Lafourche Parish. Louisiana State Patrol says, following the crash, LSP conducted a detailed investigation with the assistance of crash reconstruction experts and with all available information at the time. Investigative findings revealed that Mr. Lacy's reckless driving while approaching oncoming traffic led to the events of the crash. The findings were presented to the 17th Judicial District Court, which approved an arrest warrant based on the evidence collected. As with all investigators leading to arrest, the subjects of the investigation are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. No one disputes that he was behind the crash scene. His swerving, passing cars, and reckless operation caused a series of crash events. I don't see how you could ascertain that. He was too far behind. I've looked at it a couple of ways. Like, was the guy in the blue car? Could he have been afraid because he see the Chargers swerving back into traffic and driving fast, coming up in his six? But from what we understand, the lady caused the crash. The guy in the blue was not in the wrong. He was headed right, had the green light. Miss Lady almost running into the back of Gold truck, swerving around, went into her wrong lane of traffic. So, she didn't. I don't think she saw the Charger. Gold Truck said what he saw about the Charger. He didn't even have to ski it from the Charger coming up on her. The officer trying to say he coming for him head on. No, bro. The Charger was way up there behind a whole nother car. But that's what they put together for that man. And bro, and it ended bad, bro. Like, now when I think about it, man, the only thing that blows my mind, bro, is the fact that Kyren Lacy went to the lengths that he went, bro. My prior spitballing of ideas was like, man, I wonder if the family started looking at him as a fuck up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, bro, athletes are 0.001% of athletes make it to the NFL, to the top levels where you can make millions of dollars and change, the course of your family's life forever. So, in large and in part, a lot of times, a lot of these athletes come from inner cities, man, very, very bad circumstances, poor upbringing and shit like that. So, I wondered, I'm like, man, I wonder if it's a situation where the family is just, they went from one day being like, treating him like the cash cow, like the king of the world, gonna get us out the hood, to the minute that he did something, just kind of turning it back on him, calling him stupid and just, you just dumb as hell, man, fucking up your blessings, just yada, yada, yada. I wanted to feel a situation like that. But as I heard the report from, what the lawyer said, transparent down there in Houston, man, I just feel like dude was in a very bad place, a very dark place, man. You saw that video with Jaden Daniels, and I think that was Malik Neighbors. They got drafted the year before. They were ready to invite their brother up there, got all kind of rookie gifts for him and all of that, man. Just ready to enjoy the experience their year in. And to go from that, man, just like a month before, you get that chance, and now being accused of a vehicular homicide when you had nothing to do with it. I could see how it could have you in a bad place, but why not let the lawyers fight that thing, bro? Like, that's the part that baffles me, man. Why did he go so hard, so fast, and like, I'm just gonna leave the population, bro, before I even give myself a chance to fight it? But he could be thinking, down here they crooked enough to already get it going on me. What if I don't get out of it and I go and do 10, 12, 15 years, and then he has this incident over there? Who knows what the family could have said or what their involvement was in making him feel a way about himself in light of what had transpired, man. So, it's one of the craziest, but we hear a lot of crazy shit in America every day, bro. But the way all this came back to come together, bro, it's one of the nastiest pieces of work. But far too often, man, people say that these systemic issues don't exist, and they find a way to excuse it or sweep it under the rug or just look the other way every time there's an instance of it. But oddly enough, we have an instance damn near daily. And so, for the people that are supposed to say that it doesn't exist, I guess they're going to keep on saying it. But for the common sense individual out here, man, you have got to know that there's a certain demographic of people out here that are disproportionately misused and abused when it comes to the justice system. So those numbers that you try and quote, attribute to a certain group of people to say that they're responsible for all the mayhem and mistrust out here in the United States of America, is just not true. There are so many factors that go into why those people are being named in those areas, and until you're able to look it in the face, as in like a case like this, man, then we're not gonna make much progress out here. But it will continue to be material for me to bring to my people, man, whether you know it or not. And so, we'll see what happens as far as this Officer Taylor Warner and the one Christine Russell and the Louisiana State Patrol, and we'll see if Ben Crump or somebody jumps on this thing, man, and tries to hold somebody accountable. But until then, man, rest in peace, Kyren Lacy. Condolences to the family. I'll apologize for any misspeaking I may have done when I put out my original show, and we make these missteps sometimes in trying to get on top of a story and be one of the first ones putting it out. So, with that said, man, any updates, I'll bring it to you. But like I said, it's been straight like that. I'm out.
So, just got finished watching Matt Ory on HTV talking to Martin Foss about Kyren Lacy's accident, which wasn't Kyren Lacy's accident because he had nothing to do with it. He was literally a football field away when the accident occurred. Come to find out, the chick that was following too close, tailgating, the one that got the ticket in the ambulance for following too close, is the one that caused the whole accident in the first place. So what we all need, everybody, we need her name. First of all, we need her name. We need her blasted out there, just like Kyren's name was blasted everywhere. We need her prosecuted just like they wanted to prosecute Kyren, throw him underneath the jail. We need her prosecuted just like that. The same energy they had for Kyren, we need for her. Ain't no difference. There is a big difference, but we all know the difference, okay? But we need her prosecuted. Another thing, I need this. Tyler Werner, that's the state trooper that's seen it, his body cam is seen going to this old man's house and pretty much telling him what to put on the police report after he told him, or after the old man already said, hey, this is what happened. He's like, no, make sure you put that the charger was coming right at you, blah, 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 blah. Tyler Werner, I think your badge number is 2921. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't, but we're going to find out. Hopefully somebody that is more intuitive and wants to do more than me, because I ain't going to go all in the records, but somebody may do it. Hopefully we get, I got a picture of them too. I'll post it underneath in the comments. So we need those two people's names. We need vehicle number 2, that woman. We need her unredacted in all them reports and blast her name out there just like they wanted to witch hunt for Kyren, because everybody that's a moron was like, oh yeah, he did it. He's just a thug riding fast in his car, blah, 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 blah. Okay, no, he wasn't. So guess what? All these morons that were trying to prosecute him and persecute him before he could have his fair day in court, saying he was guilty just for being around, that's on y'all. His death is on y'all, because y'all pushed that man. Y'all pushed that boy to wherever he was at when that happened, whatever headspace he was, because he knew he was innocent in his heart. But man, the devil's a liar, but them demons are real, right? So we just need that, and it sucks. This sucks, and we need the same vigor and the same energy that all these investigators had going after Kyren and finding him and all of this and getting this video. We need this to be better and faster, and we need this going after that same girl that caused the whole wreck. Vehicle number 2. Vehicle number 2 caused the whole wreck. If we had all this evidence faster and better, how easy is it to pull a video from them surveillance cameras at them gas stations? Super easy if you got a warrant, and which you can get in a couple days if you're the state police. But you didn't do it. Or if you did do it, you withheld the evidence, so Matt Ory didn't have a good case, okay? But if we have all of this out in the open and we push all of this, we don't have this issue right now. But y'all didn't care. Y'all just wanted to y'all knew who did it. Y'all thought y'all knew who did it, and you wanted him. You wanted his head on a spike, and that's it. So, Tyler Werner, 2921, we need to know why you telling these people what to say on these police reports. Were you there? No. The old man was, and he told you what happened. But he was like, nah, make sure you put that charger was coming straight at you. Screw you, Tyler Werner, for that. And in vehicle number 2, screw you for letting Kyren take the whole rap for you. The whole rap for you. You seen all the news reports. I know you seen them. They going after that boy, and you just sitting there. It ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me. When you the one that caused the death of that old man. You did it.